Hello my friends, Boomy here once again with another video for you, my Anthem brothers and sisters and gaming brothers and sisters out there in Bastion. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone enjoyed Season of Skulls and is getting ready for the winter event that is coming soon, which we'll report on later on. So, friends, hit that subscribe button, do the thing, because we got some major Anthem news now. Now, let me caveat all this with sources said, which will say it's rumor. It's probably actually correct, but we're just gonna say that just in case it's not correct. Now, you probably have heard recently that, or haven't heard really, because, BioWare has kept silent about Anthem, and which is, I'm like, okay, that's probably not the best thing to do, but they also had the problem with saying too much when Anthem first launched, and that kind of bit them in the booty as well. So it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't situations. But we do have some sources coming out of telling Jason Schreier for Kotaku, who I found out today blocked me on Twitter because apparently when you have different opinions, it hurts people's feelings, but that is neither here nor there. I've got multiple accounts. So let's take a look and see what Jason Schreier has to say, and I will say this by far, I actually think he's one of the only small group of actual gaming journalists out there, so I actually respect some of his work, so there's that. I do not have too many bones to pick, but let's talk about this. BioWare plans a complete overhaul for Anthem, which, to be honest with you, not surprised that became a thing. Let's get into the article. And I quote, "Recent silence and a couple of high-profile departures from BioWare have led fans and pundits to speculate that the studio has abandoned its most recent game, Anthem. But the opposite is true. For the last few months, BioWare and parent company EA have been planning an overhaul of the online shooter. According to 3 people familiar with those plans, some call it Anthem 2.0 or Anthem Next, or if I might add, since the original name for this game is going to be called Beyond, they should just call it Anthem Beyond." To me, that doesn't make sense. And he's right. In his first paragraph, EA did come out and say they're going to double down on efforts with Anthem because Anthem is one of those games where it has the giant potential. And I think BioWare and EA see that, and I think all they need to do is actually go in there and pull that potential out, and we will have a great game. Let's continue on. Many of the details are in flux, and there's no clear timeline for the Anthem Next project just yet. In fact, from what I've heard, the developers at BioWare haven't even decided how it will be distributed. They're still trying to figure out whether updates should be released at all at once or over an extended period of time. Anthem could be overhauled through a series of updates, a la No Man's Sky. It could get a game-changing expansion like Destiny's critical acclaimed Taken King. Most of Anthem's biggest systems, its mission structure, its loot, its world, will change drastically, but the developers have not yet figured out how exactly what that will look like. They're even considering releasing Anthem Next as a brand new game, which I don't think they should do that, just to be honest with you, but that's just me. He continues, although those who work on the project said that could take a lot of forms, and it's unlikely they'll full charge price to Anthem players. Let me just say something right there. That would be I personally believe that would be a foolish mistake to sell it as a brand new game. I think that would look horrible for EA, which is just starting to look good right now with the whole Valve situation, with Jedi Fallen Order coming out and just blowing everyone away in a great way. EA is starting to make some ground. Let's not take a couple thousand steps backwards by re-releasing this as a brand new IP and then charging $60 for everyone like myself who have been in since the very beginning. I mean, if it were $10, I'd be like, okay, $10 expansion, $20 expansion, okay, I'll do it. But if they're going to charge full AAA price on it, I'd be like, even I'll be out on that one. Let's continue. The one thing that's for sure is that BioWare has not abandoned Anthem, despite recent breathless declarations that the game is dead, and those were pretty much only by YouTube click haters and a couple of journalists. Not Jason, but other ones out there as well, in Twitter and, well, the internet, because, apparently, because hate sells. There's that. Let's continue. There are a few better ways to get views on YouTube than declaring Anthem is to be dead. Right now, dozens, if not hundreds of developers at both BioWare's offices in Austin, Texas, and Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, are quietly working on plans to overhaul the game. We spent a few months just tearing it down, source quotes, and figuring out what needed to change fundamentally. a lot, said one person on the project, and we've been rebuilding for another few months since. A representative of EA declined to comment on this story. No duh, not surprised there. So let's continue now, get to more pertinent stuff. In the coming months, BioWare would delay Anthem's endgame Cataclysm event, and on September 17th, the developers said they were moving away from the previously announced update plans in favor for long-term fixes. They quote, we hear your concerns on core issues in Anthem and are acting on it, end quote, wrote BioWare head of live services Chad Robinson. And you know, I've met Chad Robinson in person at the Chicago SOTOR Cantina. Really nice guy, great guy. You can tell he had a great passion for this game. So unfortunately, he is gone now. He says those systems require a more thorough review and reworking versus quick fixes. We got a team working on that now, and early results are very promising. And they continue. A month and a half later, Robinson had quit, following in the footsteps of lead producer Ben Irving, who'd left in August. The optics of these departures, combined with EA's vague messaging about Anthem's future, wasn't really vague. To be honest with you there, Jason, wasn't really vague. EA said in their earnings call, or it wasn't even an earnings call, it might have been an earnings call, I don't remember, but they did say they will be doubling down on they believe in it. So it's not exactly vague. But here we go. EA's vague message about Anthem's future have led to non-stop speculation. BioWare ditches Anthem for good, proclaimed the YouTuber news show Inside Gaming Daily. Well, of course, because clicks. Around the same time, Forbes journalist Paul Tassi wrote, I no longer... And this really sucks, because Paul was kind of like one of the last standing ones to really give this game some hope, which I'm still there. This game has potential, and I hope they do it right by it, but Paul Tassi said, I no longer really care about hearing about future plans for Anthem, because I simply cannot imagine they will be anything beyond the bare minimum of keeping the game alive on life support, if that. We will see, and hopefully they will come out with something that will blow everyone's minds and just be like, oh wow, I was totally wrong. But let's continue. But the reality is that BioWare is still putting a lot of work into Anthem. Details on Anthem Next, or 2.0, are hazy, but among other things, the game's developers plan to overhaul the loot, the quest, the social aspects of the game, the difficulty, the progression system, and the world map. So the entire game, really. One person on the project said they're planning to change the game's entire structure, which I just said. Right now, the entire world of Anthem is set on a single continuous map. Separating the map into segments would allow developers to tweak and play around with those segments without worrying that they might create bugs and glitches all across the world, which is what they did. That's what happened. And I like the idea that each zone is a different bio, and that's what they a lot of the stuff we go through this article, a lot of stuff that they were talking about are stuff that BioWare just should have done in the first place. But that's it. Hindsight's 2020, I guess, on that one. He continues. We're also looking at breaking up the need to go back to Fort Tarsus after every mission, said the person. And what a mission technically is. That was always a weird disconnect. We're trying to integrate the disparate part, parts of the game together. A second person on our project told me yesterday that they were still doing lots of testing things out and experimentation, but still nothing concrete. With so much in the air, it's impossible to know what will and won't change, but it's safe to say that Anthem won't suddenly transform into a brand new franchise. We still expect to see freelancer mercenaries, Shaper artifacts, Javelin exosuits, and all the other core ideas that the game has established. BioWare's plan is to zoom out and overhaul the game systems that most players have agreed don't work. How and when this plan will come to fruition remains to be seen. Anthem was developed by both BioWare's offices, but the plan had always been for BioWare Edmonton to pass the baton to BioWare Austin once the game went live. That has been happening slowly, sources said, which is exciting to members of the Austin team who think they can improve the game. As detailed in our piece about the development early, and he pretty much goes on to talk about how during the development of the game there were tensions between Edmonton and Austin, and kind of seems like Austin's like, we're gonna do a better job, like whatever, you deal with Dragon Age 4, we're out. But yeah, pretty much there we are, my friends. We are sitting waiting to hear more, an official statement from BioWare and EA about all this, and perhaps we'll probably get that in the next quarter in 2020, which is not that far away, a couple months away. But I like this idea. I really like the idea of them not necessarily rebooting it, but just revamping the game, redoing it in a sense to where they keep all the parts that make it awesome, like the flying, the story. They need to revamp the story a little bit. When it first came out, I think a lot of us were disappointed that this was not going to highlight all of BioWare's storytelling tools that they have in their toolkit, where like romance, and it was just a weird disconnect for some people and for me as well. But I did kind of like where the story was going. But this is a game that has tons of potential, and it gets really frustrating from a player's standpoint, especially if someone who's like kind of invested into the game, to where you see the potential and you're just like frustrated because dang it, why didn't they just do all the stuff they're talking about here in the article in the beginning? Things would have been totally fine, totally great. But hopefully 2.0 will be amazing. I personally think they should launch it as an expansion, or maybe do it in small piecemeal parts. But they should definitely not sell it as a standalone other game. I think that would be bad on their part, and especially if they would charge AAA prices for it. So yeah, that would be a bad on that one. If they did, I think they should give Anthem players, those of us who've been there since the beginning, heck of a discount, or it'd be free. So there's that. But anyways, my friends, put your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to hear your thoughts on all this. Anthem is not dead. They are going in, and they are going to give it the $6 million man treatment and rebuild it. There you go. And if you're not familiar with $6 million man, Google it, because I'm old. Anyways, my friends, we'll see you later. Make sure you hit that like button. All the likes are good. Algorithm likes. The more likes we get, the more to the front of the line we go. And if you really like what you see here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Become part of the family here at Boomy Nation, the freak show of YouTube, the black sheep of gaming. And my friends, my fellow freelancers, remember to be kind. It's about community, and we'll see you later. Good day.